meeting ID. You can.
Oh, you only send me one link.
This
you didn't send me a
conference
second.
will now be recorded.
So I can quickly send you. Hold on.
Yeah, please, if you can. Sure. Thanks.
Yeah, I'm quickly sending.
Okay, I think we shall start now. So let me introduce myself. So myself, Pradeep. I used to work. Now, as of now, I'm doing a full-time training, and as well as I take up external contracts, so freelancing. So am I audible to everyone?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, great.
I don't know about the other people, but I can hear you.
So today is I would like.
This conference will now be recorded.
Yes. Okay. So I would like to know, like, your background. So that
Hold on, just a minute. Irfan, did you receive my email? I send you now.
Yeah, I got it. I've got the meeting. I'm on it right now.
Okay, thank you. Sorry. We are good to go.
Okay. So maybe like if before starting, I would like to know you. So what you are exactly looking from this session, and what are your expectations, and or what you want to eventually achieve after this session. So maybe we can start with Irfan or whoever.
Irfan can start, I guess.
Yeah. So Pradeep, actually what happened is that we have been working, like I have been, my past is with the operating system. So I used to work on like HP system, AIX system, then Solaris, and then Red Hat. So we have been doing that, and there's a lot of application we'll be doing, the backup, disaster recovery, firewalls, networking, everything. Now, currently what I'm doing is because I'm working with the Bank of Montreal. So we have been providing support on Red Hat with WebSphere on it. So they are slowly now moving the WebSphere, a portion of the WebSphere on Openshift. And because of the DevOps, they are bringing Ansible and all those other tools into the environment. So because we are production support, we don't get a chance to actually do the configuration and all those things, because we get the codes and we just deploy it on the production. We don't actually like able to test it or like do like a lab kind of a work in this environment. So what we want to do is we want to know that first of all, how OpenShift is going to get installed. Like, is it only going to be on the cloud, or we can have it on the local machines? Because what we have at home, I don't have a cloud at home. I have a local machine. I'm running like VMware, and I've got multiple nodes here, right? So what I want to do is I want to install OpenShift on it, and I can log on one. I can install as a master, and on the two I can make it 2 nodes, and then use it as a cluster and whatever. So that kind of a thing I want to learn. So, and on top of that, we want like an OpenShift workbook that is usually provided by the trainers in the training. When you go for a course, they provide a workbook. So those kind of workbook, we can follow that. And if you have a code like a RPMs or something that is required for me, which I can download and install it, then I can do it. And mostly we are concentrating, not mostly actually, we are concentrating on Red Hat only. We don't have SUSE Linux, we don't have CentOS. It's purely Red Hat workshop we have over here. So we want to concentrate on Red Hat only for the shift.
Yeah. So yeah, first point I would like to make it clear, like OpenShift is a Red Hat product. So, and they recommend putting Red Hat. So I think you will see most of the flavors of Linux where OpenShift is more comfortable is Red Hat. So that's one thing is there. So that's the reason if Red Hat is selling the operating system, obviously they will sell this OpenShift as well. So we will get into more insights about OpenShift, why OpenShift emerged, and why world is looking forward to such kind of technologies, and how it's going to influence in future. And I think you took a right decision of learning more about OpenShift. Maybe after the course you will realize like what kind of impact it gives you in terms of career as well as in terms of understanding the technology. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I think we are at right place. So next, I think maybe next person can start.
Yeah, sure. I can start with it. So, yeah, similar to Irfan, I have a similar experience. But this course is basically only for OpenShift, or I do see the Jenkins and Ansible on your side. So, are you?
So these are like other set of course which I run. So this is the current notes which I have opened, but the other one is like it's not for this particular session. But those are other courses which I run. Yeah.
Okay.
But here they're focusing more on OpenShift and Ansible. That's what it writes, Shanmuga?
Yeah. So Sajjad here. So it's me who communicated and the course I discussed with other fellows, like what we will be getting. So it's OpenShift plus Ansible, right? So my name is Sajjad, and let me introduce myself. So I'm working in the same team like Irfan, Bhupinder, and Harbux. So they work in prod and I work in non-prod, right? So I mostly do patching and hardening of the system, those systems that are being used to host the application, which is OLVB. So it's non-prod and prod both. So so all kind of different tools like we use Ansible, ISAM, and WebSphere, right? So Jasper for reporting. So my main responsibility there is to make sure that all the systems, they are hardened properly and the patching is up to date. But of course, because they are moving towards automation, right? So I also need to know, let's say there is OpenShift, so they are slowly moving to OpenShift, so they are pods or containers, and of course patching is required to be done on those different containers and pods. So in that case, I need to know the nitty-gritty of how it works and how we can patch the base image, and then we can patch the container or the other stuff, and similarly the containers as well, right? And then if I know the mechanism, how that system works, so it's easy for me to harden and patch containers and images as well.
And also, I think for the Ansible, we have mostly done the setup and configuration, and we have even Ansible Tower and stuff set up for our team. So also, if you can be like more focused on the playbook, and on that side.
Yeah, so we'll go with playbook, and we will make how to make a playbook to role. Okay, then components of role.
Yeah, even these are if we can go like a further more detail into the playbook, because we have some basics we were doing. We have the playbooks, and we have the roles, and we have even Jinja stuff.
The variables.
Yeah, the variable, the Jinjas and everything. So if you could like go more into the playbook, like a little bit advanced, so we can learn like that side that way.
Yeah, this is what, right? So you're like, what are the Ansible variables, Ansible tasks, and how the tasks is designed, the structure of task, what are handlers in Ansible, then simple playbooks and the naming conventions you follow. Yeah, and then you have got a lot of elements in a playbooks, like your blocks, you have templates, you can write a conditional logic, you have loops.
Yeah,
There's
like
so many.
yeah, the Jinja 2, like that's a good, you have their Jinja 2 template, like a little bit advanced playbooks, because we have the basic
Yeah,
playbook.
Jinja 2 template is something we don't get any much documentation, but however, like I do can provide you how you can play with those kind of templates.
Yeah, and we have the Galaxy, like to get some code from Galaxy and do yourself, and that kind of stuff. If it can be.
Yeah. So how our Ansible works in our environment is that when Ansible we run a job, what it does, it goes to Git, get the code, download to the server, and then before doing it, what it does, it goes to our Jira ticket system and confirm that we have a permission to perform that. So there's one test we have for the permission. Then it goes to the repository, which is Git, download it on the server, and apply it and run it. Now there's multiple conditions on that we do it, like add users, or sometimes it is like copying files, sometimes it is untarring, sometimes it is deploying EAR files, WebSphere files, things like that. So it's more like multiple hops we want to do, like what we can learn from it.
Yes, that is what the role is all about. So when I say, I just wanted to show the Jinja templates. So I do have the filter transformations, which you normally do with these templates. So we will also discuss these Ansible filters using the templates. And second thing is roles. There are many aspects of a role. So what role has, what are the components of role we have? So I think I will go through each and every element of a role in Ansible, and I'll explain you how we can do it. I do have a lot of playbooks. Let me open and.
Yeah, if we can just go through the playbooks like the end, we can go over like how they are, basically go through the playbook and see how they are in the work, like the small one, the yum and all that. So it's very easy. But if we have a bigger playbook and a lot of variables, then it's really good to learn how this everything comes up, right, together. And so we get to know the because we have already a lot of codes available in our Gitbit at where we work, and we have a lot of Jinja templates and other stuff. So it's just how we start with one role and go underneath, and to get to know everything how this works together. Because we have multiple YAML files, and we have multiple templates and multiple tasks. So we just want to track how this works one by one. So in case we need to troubleshoot, how we can do that, right? Because these playbooks are written by someone else, and we do not, because in order to understand those playbooks, you have to go to each line. And so this way, if you download something like from the Galaxy, or we can go over how this role is set up and how to troubleshoot in case something is wrong, right?
Yes, yeah, we do. We will go with the example, basic example, what's there in the Galaxy. However, since they are already written, that means person is owning those scripts. So we will build the playbook from scratch. Let's say you have a task, how to go about with this task. So I see these are the projects which I normally take up. So I'll give you one example. This is the entire playbook which I have written for one of the company. I think somebody told me about the WebSphere, right? So here there's a playbook which does entire orchestration of WebLogic. So you can create all WebLogic resources using this playbook. So you have like how you define variables, okay, and how you put the password, what are the model name, what is the admin URL, and what's the stage directory. And it's for T-Mobile, which I've did this project.
Okay.
Okay, so then like SFQs and all. So these are all roles. Okay, so how I'm specifying these roles, how I'm let's say configure sources.yaml. See, you can see here, right? So this is a create JMS module, and remote machine. So remote is one model which I've created in my inventory, and then the role to perform. Any tags which are required, I'm tagging this role, and from where it should fetch these variables. See, there are similar
Okay.
set of many roles are written. It's a custom roles. It's not like you will not find this code anywhere in Google. So it's a
Yeah.
very from scratch which I've developed for this company.
Yeah.
So I'll also teach you like how to approach a problem. See,
Exactly.
Ansible
Because
is something like, yeah.
no, you're right. This is what exactly you're saying, how to approach a problem and how to find the root cause. Because there are so many variables on the playbook, and also we have the default. In each role, there are variables. So sometimes it goes out of the hands, to track exactly, to play back how this worked, right?
Yeah. So what we will do once we build it, then we will learn from it. And once we have these variables,
Yeah.
these roles with us, all we have to do is to manipulate that with our server name, our things and directories, and then just apply it in the production, and it should be okay to work. So yeah, so that's perfect. So we're gonna go with that. Now, there's a couple of other things apart from this training material that we want to know is how many hours is going to be the course, and how we will be doing it, like what days and how it's going to work.
Yeah, so at this part of the demo, see, if I say I need, I think based on the conversation what currently I'm having, so let me put those areas. Maybe
Yeah.
we will
The
come
whole,
up with
yeah,
areas, and based
yeah,
on that,
for the,
we'll decide the timeline. Okay, it's not something like it's a predefined timeline, because I can say admin part will take so many days, development part will take so many days. So the whole motive in understanding you is like to design the core curriculum based on your requirements rather than I deliver something and maybe 20 or 30% will match your requirement and other 30% or 50% struggle again. So I don't want to end up in such situation. So we will design the content now, and based on that we will proceed it. So first is OpenShift. Okay. uh, Before getting to OpenShift, I think I, based on the conversation what till I know, like you are all from sysadmin background, right?
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
So why OpenShift? First is we have prerequisites. So prerequisites, we will discuss about containerization.
Pradeep, you're recording this, right?
Yeah, we are recording. Sharmaka, we are
So
recording it, right?
Yes, I'm recording.
Yeah, great.
so once we are done, you can send the recording to us, right? So Sajjad is going to provide you all the email
Yes,
addresses.
I do. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Oh, Harbex want to say something. I guess he's waiting his turn. He just sent me a message.
Yeah.
Harbex?
So
Hello?
Herbux is on the call. Hi,
Yeah.
Herbux.
Okay. We can continue. I guess maybe he's on mute or something like that. He just sent me a message that he want to say something.
okay.
No,
We
let's
can
wait for. I think we should bring him in.
So shall
Yeah,
we wait for him?
yeah, I got dropped, yeah, somehow. Hello?
Yeah. Hi, Pradeep here. So what we are trying to do is we are trying to create a course curriculum so that it meets your requirements. So before getting into the OpenShift and Ansible, we shall consider prerequisites. So without understanding prerequisites, I don't think there's a point in getting the exact course. So prerequisites for this course are containerization. I all are familiar with this concept. Do you want me to
Yes.
include it, or shall we
No, yeah, this
skip?
is, so the basic architect, we already know, like the containers, and it's based on Dockers and all that. Like,
So,
if
Bhupinder, my suggestion would be that if we can quickly go through it, then you
sure,
guys.
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
sure.
So we will go
Okay.
with basic then. So I will not get into
Yes.
the detailed architecture of containerization. We'll get into the basics. Okay. So this one component. And second thing is, everyone was aware of virtualization.
Right. Yes. the
Hyper-V
Hyper-V and all that.
spellings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
We know virtualization, but we are more from the VMware side of it. But on the Red Hat, how it works, what are the things we want to know about that?
Oh,
Yes,
fine.
yeah. So virtualization, we will not discuss with the technology specific because we will discuss virtualization as a concept.
Sort of a comparison, right? So what's the difference between generalization and
so basically it's just a prerequisite responses why we need OpenShift, because we have container and virtualization, and now they have like something like a Docker, it's based on container and images and all that.
Yes.
Right. So
but what we have in our environment, we have standalone boxes, and we have VMware Red Hat servers that we support. But the thing is this: we don't have any Dockers in our environment. We don't have any Kubernetes in our environment. So we want to learn about, like, before going to OpenShift, if it's a requirement to know about Dockers, we want to learn how to create Dockers and what are the basic component of Docker.
No,
right?
this is just, I think this is based on Docker, OpenShift. So these prerequisites are just, kind of why we need to lead to the OpenShift. But yeah, I think you're right. We can let Pradeep go over.
Yeah, I think it's a good point raised, Docker and Kubernetes. One thing I would like to say is OpenShift is nothing but another version of Kubernetes. That's it.
Yeah.
OpenShift is a wrapper around your Kubernetes. So I was about to write this one. Kubernetes is one which is a main component of OpenShift. If there is a new release of Kubernetes, then there will be a new release of OpenShift.
Yeah,
like
this is where I
if
think
you have
if you have
a new release of Linux kernel from Travis, we have a new release of Linux kernel. Then there is a new release of Red Hat flavor, SUSE Linux, everyone flavors. So similarly, if there is a new release of Kubernetes, then there's a new release of OpenShift. And and then we have Docker. So now Docker, I think, how many of you know that Docker is a company or a Docker is a technology?
Nobody.
I just
it's just
Docker,
like it's just like we read the overview. So nothing in the detail. So as Irfan mentioned.
So Docker is a company name. Okay, that company name product is Docker, and they implement the containerization technology. Okay, Docker is it is actually the company name, and the product is their flagship product is Docker. Okay, and so now is one of the it's one of the containerization provider. We also have Rocket, RCT, we call it as, that is also containerization technology. And any other orchestrator? I think I forgot to tell here. Kubernetes is called as a
salt stack
container orchestrator.
Yeah.
So normally in interviews or anywhere, they will ask you, what is your container orchestrator? So that means either it could be at the Kubernetes or Docker Swarm or Mesos
or OpenShift.
Okay, these are or OpenShift. Okay, so OpenShift, I will tell why we call OpenShift, why why Red Hat is creating a lot of buzz with OpenShift. So this is container orchestration, and we have a Docker here. So these are the prerequisites you need to understand OpenShift. Why? Because first thing is OpenShift is a wrapper. It is a wrapper. So I think I will not write any here. Here we will understand the types of OpenShift flavors. OpenShift. Okay, and so in these types of flavors, we have got two versions of not more than two versions. Enterprise we have, platform based we have, when we also have open source, like Red Hat provides its open source Linux. Similarly, they provide open source. OpenShift is called as Origin. So when you say Origin, Origin is the open source version of OpenShift. So in Origin, it has the latest Kubernetes version. However, when they go with the enterprise version, the OpenShift gives the flexibility of controlling what a Kubernetes can operate. That means how Kubernetes can choose the input, whereas the raw form of Kubernetes which Google releases will not give that flexibility. And because of that, financial institutions or maybe companies which work in silos, the technology development happen in silos. So for them, it is really tough to keep a track what to put and what not to put into the system. So OpenShift gives you that flexibility. So that is the reason OpenShift is very popular, and it is very well tuned with your Red Hat flavor, and it gives you the optimal performance. But whereas when you take the out of the box Kubernetes, which is not custom one, so you have to we have to create all these barriers, you have to come up with all the security measures, and then implement on in the company. But whereas the enterprise OpenShift, it's already preloaded with all these features. So that
like
is the advantage.
What features? Sorry, can you give example of two features?
Yeah, I'll give one feature is, let's say if you are in a financial institution or maybe any company where you need only certified code repositories, right? For example,
like internal repository, like our own internal repository.
Internal or external. Let's say you are implementing, you are telling about the WebSphere, right? Well, like WebSphere is a proprietary product. That's okay, that's fine. But whereas we have open source products like Cassandra, okay, we have MySQL, like now it's called MariaDB. So you really don't know like whether the MariaDB which is there in the internet, which is there in the open source market, is a certified one or not. But whereas this OpenShift will give you the flexibility of creating a central repository, and in that central repository, that the team will take the responsibility what to put and what not to put in this repository. So only the certified repositories will be accessible through your Kubernetes orchestrator. However, if you are putting normal straightforward Kubernetes, the Kubernetes is not controlled by this single repository. There you can download the image and you can run it.
Right. And that repository you mentioned, that's going to be controlled and certified and everything. So that repository is Red Hat repository, right? And when we register to that repository, we can get the certified images. That's what you mean, right?
Exactly. That's what they have, and you can create your internal repository as well. So Docker repository you can have, so that's flexibility is there. So people see why people will go with product like licensed version is the accountability is there. There is no accountability for Kubernetes. Let's say Kubernetes you implemented the out of the shelf Kubernetes and the platform went down.
Yeah, it's like open source. Yeah, it's like open source. Right? Like using CentOS instead of Red Hat, right? Enterprise.
Perfect. Yeah, that's it. So that's the reason all production grade, all UAT grade, even like if you see, obviously you are going with a SDLC pattern, so your development, whatever you're using the technologies, the third parties you use in your development environment, you use the same technologies eventually to your production environment. So that's the reason you got OpenShift. If you're implementing in production, you'll also implement same as QA, UAT, and then production. And OpenShift,
sorry, I'm registered to OpenShift for Red Hat, right? But with my BMO account. Now, my machines are not registered, and my machine at home is not registered on Red Hat. Will I still be able to download and directly get all those things from OpenShift? as
No.
a personal thing, or is it has to go? First, I have to register my machine, and then OpenShift will download it.
Machine, I think.
Your machine should be registered. Your server, your machine must be registered. Like just registering yourself will not will not allow access to your machines.
You have
So
to
how
map
we
the
will be
repository.
installing these? So how we will be installing it at home? All those OpenShift codes and everything, and then downloading everything.
That's the reason. First heading I said types of OpenShift flavors. So I want to make sure that we are working only on with origin. So the origin is one where we have access. Okay.
It's like open.
Oh,
It's
so
open source.
you're going to give us an environment in origin.
It's a OpenShift. Origin is a community flavor.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Community flavor of OpenShift. Okay, it is exactly the same how OpenShift everything works, but only thing is it's a community flavor.
Okay.
So next we will see the architecture of OpenShift. TCTUR. Okay, so now when I said OpenShift is a wrapper, so now naturally when I talk about architecture is completely inherited from Kubernetes. So now in Kubernetes, how you have a master node, how you have the slave nodes. So what kind of architecture you have in Kubernetes, you will have same architecture in OpenShift. Plus, on top of it, we will see the features offered by Red Hat for working on this architecture. So the extended part with the Red Hat. Got it? So these things we do it. And then
so OpenShift you are saying is a wrapper. OpenShift is a wrapper, which basically is like GUI interface front end for us, which basically use Kubernetes and Docker and Red Hat to perform the task, but it's just a presenter. OpenShift is like a presenter to us in a GUI fashion, right?
Yes, it is. It's not only GUI. It gives you the additional features, the security features, what enterprise is looking for. So whereas the out-of-the-shelf
and everything,
exactly. So whereas the out-of-the-shelf OpenShift will not offer. So it's a preloaded enterprise version where you have accountability of the platform.
Okay, I got
it. So that is the only thing, or else there are many companies, they also run production grade Kubernetes, but it is the risk factors is always there. So they have, like for example, AT&T, OpenStack. I think anyone work on this Contrail products of Juniper, HDN software defined networks, Contrail products, they all run on Kubernetes. It's not OpenShift, it's all Kubernetes. AT&T production grade systems run on Kubernetes. They don't run on OpenShift. So OpenShift, okay. So, but AT&T is the biggest contributor towards Kubernetes community, towards OpenStack community. Is the biggest investor in Contrail HDN network, software defined networks. So in OpenShift, you also have OpenSwitch. OpenSwitch is again how network your traffic is routed, what kind of setup everything is there. But I will not get into deep aspects of OpenSwitch because OpenSwitch will become an entirely new topic. Only we will discuss OpenSwitch which is related to your OpenShift. Okay. So
Pradeep,
we'll see the
you will run the whole training session that you are doing, right? You will be the one who will be doing all the session. There's no other person who will be coming in, right?
No
okay,
other
perfect.
person. No. Okay. Let's set up we have once we learn about architecture, we will see set up an installation of OpenShift. Right. So now we know the flavors of OpenShift. We know what is architecture. We know how to set up. Now we will work on the OpenShift. So for working on OpenShift, so now here we know about this. So then here we will see about immutable infra designs. Okay, and we will also learn about continuous delivery. Okay, so immutable infra designs. So why it is popular? So I think somebody told me like WebSphere to OpenShift.
Yes, we are migrating it.
So
Our WebSphere is standalone to OpenShift.
yeah.
So
Yes,
that's the main reason we want to learn OpenShift, that how we can do those things and what kind of a challenges and what we will be doing actually.
yeah. See, it's again my personal opinion. It may differ from person to person. Uh, OpenShift is designed for immutable infrastructures. OpenShift or Kubernetes or containerization. Containerization basically it is for shipping of your end product to the targeted destinations. So that is your containerization. And Kubernetes is like how you place your container, how you work with your containers, how you manage your containers. That is Kubernetes. So OpenShift is also with the same motive.
Oh,
But we must.
it is basically like a cluster for all the. It's a cluster for all the containers, right?
No. You should not think of clusters. See, cluster is a part of maintenance. Cluster it's Kubernetes. One of the feature is one of the offering is cluster, but cluster itself is not Kubernetes. Okay, Kubernetes main objective is to manage your containers. How it will manage, whether it will be single node.
Yeah, turn off, on, and multiple node, and okay, good. The whole package. Yeah. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, the line got. You guys can hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear.
I guess they got some problem.
Pradeep, we cannot hear you. You are on mute.
I'm sorry, just a second. I'm calling Pradeep. Pradeep went to offline. There might be some power gone or maybe
Okay.
network issue.
Network.
Just a second.
Okay.
So Sajjad, what Pradeep is mentioning in his notes is exactly what we need.
Yeah.
This is exactly what we need actually, and this is our requirements are. So it's what the course he's trying to present is exactly it's going to be in our environment. So I think it's going to be a right course that we are doing right now.
Yeah.
So hopefully it will be coming in what, in a month or 2 months, right?
So that's a question for him because
No, in our environment in BMO, in a couple of months' time, it will be coming in.
Yes.
So
yes.
we need to have this course done and hands-on and everything before within 2 months. So we should be able to do those things once they're going to throw it on us.
So Irfan, so we are just going to do OpenShift first, and then we'll move into Ansible, right? And
exactly.
So we'll ask him like how many days and when we need to attend, and after this, so once he joins back, and the fees and everything, so we know, right?
Yeah. Only 3 things we want to know from them is how many hours a day we're going to spend, how many days, like the whole course. Sometimes they say it's 40-hour course. So if it's a 40-hour course, it's going to be like a 3 hours every day. We're going to do it 4 hour every day for how many days, like 10 days or something like, only in the weekends, 8 hours, or how are we going to do that? Those are the things. First of all, how long the course is, how many hours, and then how we're going to be doing it. And the third thing is the fees, of course. That's something we're going to talk about.
Okay. Good. Thank you.
But the material that he's showing us is exactly what we need. So yeah, this material is perfectly all right. Because this is the one what they talk about, and then we get confused, right? About when they talk about secrets and Kubernetes, then Dockers and all the things that those are the things that he's talking about is exactly what they talk about, and we get confused. That's what it is. So if we learn those things in this course, then we should be knowledgeable to handle it and troubleshoot it and work on it, right?
Yeah.
And the good part is that they are recording it, right? So if I'm away, like let's assume if I'm going on vacation on 3rd of August till 13th of August, in case there's a meeting in between, I have my computer running, right? So I'll be attending it, but the recording is there. So I can at least, if I get the recording, I'm not going to miss anything, which is very good. They're doing the recording.
Yeah, and also you can do chat while it is working. I just said, oh, not two
Right.
organizers. The two. Oh no, I think I can only chat with two guys.
No, but if I get the recording, then even afterwards, like these things are very new to us, right? So we have to look at 1 time, 2 times, 3 times sometimes each recording to literally understand what it is. And if I miss something, I'll pick up from there, right? Because I'll be making my own notes.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello,
Sorry, folks. I live in India, so please bear with these power failures. We really like India really progressed. Not sure we had unexpected power failure. This never happens. I'm sorry about it.
No
that's
problem.
Okay. That's okay.
So Shanmuga, can you please make me presenter?
Can attendees.
Yeah. Okay, all can see my screen, right?
Yes, I can see.
Yeah, I can see your screen.
One moment. Okay, then once we see the setup and I was talking about immutable infra designs. So I was telling, so any product or any software which can scale horizontally is comfortable or is eligible for cloud implementation. So WebSphere is one which can scale horizontally, which can scale vertically. So it's eligible. It is eligible in making it as part of cloud. So that's the reason they are moving WebSphere to OpenShift, so that the main motive would be whenever they require additional managed servers of WebSphere, they can spin those managed servers based on the traffic. Okay. However, there will be only one admin server. There will be several other managed servers. Those are managed server orchestration will be done in OpenShift, because OpenShift gives them the platform of container. So managed servers are implemented in a container. So with this, we understand that the smallest deployable unit of OpenShift is its pod, right? So we will see how pod orchestration.
Yeah, what they told us, I asked this question that the pods, how are you going to run the pods? What they are saying, they're going to have multiple VMware machines running in the environment, and each machine will have the Docker Kubernetes on it, and that will be used as a pod. So those VMware, it looks like they are not going to be running on a cloud. They'll be running on standalone machines and multiple of them.
Yeah. See, if I say cloud, it doesn't mean like I'm creating a magic. what I'm doing is I am putting all my hardware or bare metal machines on one single location, on a data center location, and I expose the service. People will come to my service, they consume it. So when you say Amazon Web Service, cloud computing platform, or an Azure platform, they have an hardware and they give us, they expose the service, the way to use their hardware. So let's say if now I think Amazon is more popular, then I'll give you like in Amazon we got EC2 instance, elastic containers. So how we'll choose the instance? They give us several options. We have machines. Amazon machine image can be formed using your compute. Like you can create a hardware machine with more compute power. You can create a machine with more memory power. You can create a machine with 50 memory and 50% compute. So how you choose it? So similarly, when I say a cloud or a bare metal or an in-house in-premise infra. So now here in your case, it is a in-premise infra. And in this in-premise infra, you have these multiple virtual machines, and one virtual machine will act like a OpenShift master, and other virtual machine will act like a OpenShift nodes. So you interact with the OpenShift master, and OpenShift master will decide where to reside or where to schedule your pod. Pod is nothing but your container, right? And container is your Docker technology. It's a container is Docker technology is a daemon. It's a process. It's a process which runs on your operating system. It's a single kernel. It doesn't have any knowledge, but it uses the environment from the kernel. It uses the underlying power of your virtual machine and run your software.
Okay.
Right. So that's how it's a. Now we are dealing, like in your case, you're dealing with in-premise infra. However, when you talk about cloud, there's nothing different. You just
pod is just one container, a small.
Yes, a pod is a deployable unit of Kubernetes. However, a pod can have multiple containers.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Depending on how much hardware.
Exactly. So let's say in Docker, you heard about Docker Compose. Docker Compose. Let's say, why Docker Compose? I have an application which uses UI like a Tomcat, and then the Tomcat I have a WAR file deployed, and my WAR file interacts with my database. Maybe I will talk about MariaDB. And I want them to be tightly coupled. I don't want my MariaDB to be deployed somewhere in the network. I want MariaDB to be in the same location where my application server is. So what I do is I write a Docker Compose and I say, I want my MariaDB and I want my application in the same container. So now MariaDB runs as a single container, and Tomcat runs as a single container, and my application is Tomcat. Tomcat will consume the MariaDB container. So both the containers, what I will do is I'll put it as part of single pod. So that means a closed environment. So I have my application, I have my database, both as a containers running in a closed pod, that is as a single unit. So that's how they define as a pod. A pod can have multiple containers. So here I have a single unit working as a web application. However, they both have two different containers. One is application container, one is a DB container. But it is recommended to have a single container in a pod so that you can manage it efficiently, just for the management purpose, but it's not mandatory. It's a recommendation.
Right. Okay. I think the single probably is when, if in case you have an issue, you can kill the pod and start a new one. But if you have an issue with two of them, you have to kill both of them and start a new both of them, right?
Perfect. Yeah, the single point of failure is there, right? We are challenging that principle if you are running two multiple containers in a single pod. Let's say if other container is, though it is healthy because other one is not working fine,
Yeah, so you have to kill it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
So good to have
that's
one container, one pod. Yeah. Okay. Oh, that's good.
so we will see about pod orchestrator, pod orchestration. Right? We'll see basic understanding how it happens and all, and then we will learn about CLI, command line interface of Openshift, of Openshift. So this is very important to us because we can do from GUI. There are two options, like any other tool in the world. There are two options for OpenShift. Either you can work from GUI or you can work from command line. It's always better to understand command line so that you can write your own scripts. You can have your own pluggable interfaces, and it will not it will help you in managing the environment more efficiently rather than doing GUI operations.
Yeah, in our environment, actually, we are only using command line CLI because we have CLI wrapped up in the YAML in the Ansible and run it as a playbook. So we're gonna be more, if we can more focus on CLI.
No, they have a GUI as well, Bhupinder. I was able to access the GUI.
Yeah, that is to manage and stuff a little bit, but mostly all the deployment, everything is happening.
Deployment is going to happen through CLI, through Ansible, yes.
Okay. So we'll stick with CLI, right? Yeah, I'll also go with GUI operations as well. Don't worry.
Yeah,
so
GUI, please. Yeah, definitely.
GUI operations.
Because to kill the pod, start the pod, and everything will be GUI, but the deployment that we're going to be doing will through Ansible will be from CLI.
We can do the killing and starting with the CLI as well.
Yeah, we can do.
No, but in our environment, we might be doing it through GUI. Like in a day, in
any case, let's say like it actually gives you the breathing space if you do CLI, because you can schedule your CLI jobs using your C orchestrator. Jenkins job or a TeamCity job, you can schedule it. It will do its job. So GUI,
but
GUI, it's
we
good
will go
to
through
know.
both.
Yeah, we'll go through both. So we'll see the CLI of OpenShift. So in CLI. Yeah, there are options in CLI and detailed workbook exercise. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
So this way we are covering the flavors of OpenShift, architecture of OpenShift, setup and installation of OpenShift, pod orchestration, GUI operations, CLI operations, and then the options in CLI and detailed workbook exercise. So anything you would like to see in?
Yeah, there's a couple of more things, Pradeep, we might be interested. One is basically how to define secrets in the environment, and we use, because we have WebSphere and secure environment, so we have a lot of between server to server connection, we have certificates there. So we'll be deploying certificates to allow certain access, certain this. So those part we also need to learn a little bit.
So
yeah, I will cover them as part of options in CLI. In CLI, like you will see how to mention the secrets, how secrets are used, what are config maps, how you have configs, then volumes. Okay, volumes. We discuss about volumes. Okay, I'll also put them here. Config maps
and the APIs.
Okay, secrets, we have APIs. Okay, so I think with this, I think options, I think these are all comes under options. Okay, we have the project.
Okay, it's part of the options. Okay, okay, that's good. It's a subset. Okay,
yeah, it's all like a subset of your
CLI. Yeah. And that's why I was saying more like CLI because it covers a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Then you have new app, then annotations.
And also we have images.
Yeah, deployments. deployment config. Okay, I will start with her. Build config. I think I'll put in.
And one of the main area in here is basically troubleshooting, because that's going to come to us actually.
Yeah. Troubleshooting. I'll let you know.
Yeah, we are production support, right? So most of the time, oh, this is not happening, this is not working. Can you please quickly troubleshoot?
Yeah. Pod issues.
Yeah, exactly.
And, platform. So in this W, we'll understand the approach to your problem. Then listing the do's and don'ts. So based on the approach,
Right.
okay, based on the approach, you list out what are do's and what are don'ts. Okay, and then concluding the solution and implementation. Right. So this is what we are going to study in Openshift. Okay, once Openshift is ready for us, we'll go with Ansible. Right. In Ansible, we'll see about introduction to Ansible. Then we will see architecture. There are so many SCM tools. Why Ansible? Anyone? Any wild guesses? Why Ansible?
Yeah, because of Red Hat.
Red Hat, and it's agentless. So usually they say agentless. You don't need a client on the end machine, and
Yes. Yeah. Red Hat acquired Ansible. That's one thing. And Red Hat does investments on those areas which are more profitable. So Ansible is the first SCM tool, I believe, which broke the barriers of having an agents and all. Because when Puppet started initially, I think everyone like me had the trouble in learning the Puppet syntax, because Puppet uses their own declarative statements. I myself was feeling more uncomfortable in getting aspects of Puppet, because every other release of Puppet has a new versions or new parameters included in previous release versions of Puppet. Okay, and then later on people felt Puppet is good, Puppet is okay, but how efficient in adapting to Puppet, because it's tough, and very rarely we'll find engineers who know entire syntax of Puppet. So then came Chef, and Chef gave us the flexibility, the platform of writing our own scripts in Ruby. So that was one advantage, and more people got adapted to Chef because of the native Ruby syntax. So then that was like we were in era where we have in premise infrastructures, we are on virtual machines, and we are actually owning the systems. So now we moved from that era in completely from 2012, 2013, that's the phase wherein we don't own the systems. We just go hire, work, and release. So there's no point in going and putting up our agents, configuring the machines, and then later on working on our tasks. So that's where these tools, Puppet, Chef, lost their charm. They call it as pull-based tools, pull-based configuration management tools. So the pull-based configuration management tools will have agents at the targeted machines. So now we are not owning the machines. So why there is a need? So then the Ansible came and said, you can go with push-based. So push-based is something which you don't own the target environment, yet you plug it and you use it. So Ansible gives you that flexibility. So that's basic overview of an architecture of an Ansible, but however, we'll get into the aspects how Ansible works and all. Okay. Then we'll have Ansible Ansible playbook. Then in the playbook we will have Ansible tasks, variables, okay, and then handlers, and modules. I think modules are separate. I think before playbooks is modules. Right, we'll learn about Ansible modules, then we'll go with playbooks, Ansible tasks, variables, and handlers. Then we talk about roles, role components. All right, now we will see Ansible deployment on Openshift. Okay, we'll create a sample application on Openshift, then how we push the changes, how you create pods in Openshift, how you push the changes, how you achieve continuous delivery with Ansible on Openshift. Okay, and also we'll see playbook to role conversion. Let's say you have got simple playbook, how to make that playbook as a role. Because let's say day one you might have got a task of creating a WebSphere managed server. So you have created a playbook for that. Now somebody says, I want a WebSphere managed server. I also want WebSphere JMS queues. So you already have written a WebSphere playbook. Now somebody is asking to write a playbook for resources, and they are asking to check whether the managed server is created, and if it is not created, create the managed server and add the JMS resources. So that means they have to execute two playbooks. So it is really you cannot work in a detached mode. So how you glue them with a concept called role and make a complete end-to-end orchestration of your end component. It could be WebSphere, it could be any software deployment, it could be any build deployment. Okay, how you think about it, how you can write a playbook and later on convert those playbooks to a role. Got it? So those things we see, and we see Ansible deployments on OpenShift. So this is, I think this is pretty much is the course content.
No, this is, you got pretty much a lot of things covered. So yeah, and so this is good. These are good topics. So I think we are fine. I think we are good with this, guys. Sujad and Abaksh.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Yeah, I think this is
This is it, right? So yeah, so we'll see basic containerization. We'll put a day in the sense 1 hour. Okay, and virtualization as a concept, I think it's 1 hour. Many depending on the queries and all. I'm just quoting. Shanmuga, what will be the duration per day? It will be like weekly, daily, or how is it?
I think, yeah, if weekly we can do, what do you say, Irfan? Weekly is good, right?
Yeah, I'm also in favor of weekly.
Let's come up with how many hours do we need for this course.
Yeah.
So once we find out the hours, then we can decide what should we do. Should we only work like on Saturdays, or do we work like every 9 p.m. every night, from Monday to Friday?
No, I think, yeah, the Saturday and Sunday can work like a maximum 2, because sometimes we are on call and changes and all that, Irfan,
Yes.
so we're gonna miss a lot of stuff, right?
Yes.
Yeah, my personal recommendation is on weekly basis because I have driven a lot of courses. If you are doing on a daily basis, let's say I've missed one course, maybe in an hour, maybe or half an hour, we are saying. So maybe because every day is like not like a like normal operations. Like sometimes you have firefighting with the systems and all. So there is more probability of losing the class. So I prefer, it's my recommendation to have over weekends so that you will be free from your daily activities. At least you can make up those couple of hours for the course.
No, we are good for the week. Weekly is good. Yeah.
Yeah, Pradeep, this whole course, how many hours do you think you need?
Let's design now. So maybe we'll come up with that and we'll see. So we'll put this also 1 hour. Okay. Kubernetes and orchestration, I would say, yeah, hours. This will say 30 minutes or maybe 0.5 hours.
Yeah, I think these
Because
two can be 1 hour.
you already know these concepts, so these two can be. And Kubernetes, I'll say 1 hour.
1 hour, yeah. Docker,
okay, Docker 1 hour.
Yeah, you're right. The first two we have done it, like the VM, and also this is part of virtualization, so we know what it is and how this is done, the basic stuff.
Yeah, and then immutable designs, just 30 minutes is enough for us. And continuous delivery is also, I think you are not like, are you focusing more of DevOps perspective or
we
just
do that? Yes, we do a lot of deliveries. Yes, so we do a lot of releases. So a lot of releases comes and we deploy it into our production environments. So it is always like a pipeline, coming from.
Okay, then I'll put 1 hour. So prerequisites total how much? 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.5 hours. Prerequisites is coming up with 4.5 hours. And this will talk about 2 hours. Architecture 2 hours. Setup and installation, I think maybe I'll put as 4 hours because everyone should be on the same page. So we will wait if something happens. So we'll put as 4 hours.
Of course, yeah, we're gonna go. Yeah, we'll go with your recommendation. Yeah.
So this again 2 hours. CLI of Openshift is 1 hour enough here, and this is of I would say 4 hours. Okay. And troubleshooting will dedicate 1 class, 2 hours. So total OpenShift is coming to 4, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, 16 hours.
That's not bad.
Yes, maybe you should I put a buffer time of 2 hours here?
Yeah, that's good. Buffer time you can place here in case.
Or maybe we will put 2 hours buffer time.
I think total is 19 hours right now for OpenShift. So you can put extra 2. Yeah.
Or maybe I'll put 20 hours. Okay, that's fine, guys.
Yeah, 20 hours should be okay.
Yeah. So for Ansible introduction, I think 1 hour is fine. Architecture, again 1 hour. Modules you require 2 hours. Or maybe this can be very simple. So we'll put 0.5. 0.5. This becomes 2 hours. Playbooks and all at 4 hours. One moment, guys. 1 moment. shall go. I will be completing my class. Huh? Sorry, that was my daughter. Oh, okay.
Okay.
And then roles. It's again 4 hours. I think this includes. I'll give you the basic structure of these roles as 2 hours, and role components again like 2 hours, and this again 2 hours. Ansible role components. I think I would say 4 hours. So 1 hour, 3, 7, 9, 11, 13, 13 and 4 hours, 17 hours. So sometimes too much, I believe. Maybe this can be 2 hours because hardly here it will be like we are executing the playbooks. I think we have got enough time, maybe one. Then it becomes 4, 6, 8, 12, 14, 15 hours. Yeah, 15 hours including buffer time, guys.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so total course is like 4.5, like 24, 24, 34, 39 hours.
40 hours.
40 hours we can say.
Yeah.
40 hours course. So if we do weekly 2 hours, or how is it?
I would
Yeah,
say
2 hours is good. Yeah.
2 hours is good, right? So we Saturday 2 hours, Sunday 2 hours. How's it?
So is it possible if we do 1 day and we increase from 2 hours to 3 hours on, because 1 day family need sometimes, so
Okay, so maybe Saturday 1 hour, Sunday 2 hours, or like that, or any day maybe.
One in a week, 1 day, but for 3 hours. What a Bhupinder.
Okay, so okay, 1 day you meet. Okay.
So yeah, I think 1 day is enough. Yeah, 1 day will be good. Yeah, if that's good. Otherwise, yeah, I think 1 hour, 2 hours is also okay. But I'm open for.
No, it depends. We can. I mean, if I guess Pradeep, maybe 3 hours continuous. It's
yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I think 3 hours will make sense.
Difficult for you, then we can have a little break in between, and then.
So what do you recommend?
3 hours is
Pradeep?
okay.
Yeah.
What do you
So,
recommend?
but what's the
Pradeep, from
timing?
your,
Is it like 9 a.m. Saturday for 3 hours, 9 to 12?
Yeah, that. Yeah, at what time zone you are in?
Eastern.
EST. Okay.
Because
EST.
Canada, right? Toronto.
Oh, Toronto. Okay.